Are you trying to figure out what sleep system you need? Stick around and I'll help you out. What's up, backpackers? I'm Dan. Welcome to Backpacking Adventures, where we talk about backpacking, hiking, and gear. If you're new to this channel and if those interest you, consider hitting that subscribe and make sure you hit that bell notification so you don't miss a thing. Today I'm going to cover sleep systems, which is basically your insulation. There are two components to your sleep system. There's top insulation and there's bottom insulation. Top insulation works by creating loft, which is a pocket of air that keeps in the heat. Bottom insulation prevents the heat from being pulled away from you from underneath. Top insulation includes sleeping bags and quilts. A sleeping bag can come in the shape of a simple rectangle or come in what we call a mummy bag. A mummy bag is a sleeping bag tapered down to your feet and also include a hood so you can put over and tighten it to keep you warm at night. A quilt is basically a sleeping bag but without the back portion. They usually include a foot box, which is a space sewn in or zippered where your feet go. However, the back is wide open. The idea behind not having a back to your quilt is that when you lay on your insulation and compress it down, it loses its R value or ability to keep you warm. So they consider that a waste of material, which ultimately equates to weight. Your bottom insulation can consist of a sleeping pad or, in the case of a hammock, an underquilt. Sleeping pads come in a variety of styles. There are closed-cell pads, which is basically made of foam. These are usually thin and don't provide a lot of comfort. However, they are very good at keeping you warm and providing insulation. On the other hand, the inflatable pads do provide that same type of warmth, but also provide you with a lot more comfort. Sleeping bags and quilts come in synthetic and down. Down is the lightest, most comfortable, and the most compressible. But when down gets wet, it loses all of its ability to keep you warm. Synthetic can be made from many different types of materials. Synthetic is usually heavier and a little bit more bulkier. But when synthetic gets wet, it still keeps you warm. Before you choose a sleep system, you're going to want to consider the time of year you're going to be backpacking in and the expected weather. This will determine the R value or the temperature rating you're going to need to purchase. R value is a value given to insulation on its ability to resist heat transfer. The higher the R value, the warmer it's going to keep you. Not all manufacturers use the R rating, but do provide some kind of temperature rating. If you'll be mainly backpacking in warm weather, you can choose a lower R rating or a higher temperature rating. In cold weather, it's just the opposite. You're going to need a higher R value or a lower temperature value. However, a word of caution when you're looking at R value and the temperature ratings. Usually when they give you a temperature rating, they're not giving you the comfort rating. The comfort rating is at what temperature you can go down to where you will still be comfortable. Usually the temperature rating they provide or advertise is usually the lowest you can go safely. It is not necessarily a comfort rating. A comfort rating is the temperature that you can take it and still be comfortable. So if it's advertised at 20 degrees, you just need to understand that that's the lowest it can go safely, and that comfort is probably more around 30 to 40 degrees and above. So make sure that you check with the manufacturer before you make a choice. Basically what I do is if they provide a temperature rating, I'll just add 10 to 20 degrees. The sleep system is also going to depend on what type of shelter system you choose. If you need more information about sleep systems, you can check out one of my previous videos in this series. If you have a tent, tarp, or bivvy, you're going to need some kind of sleeping pad, as well as a sleeping bag or a quilt. If you have a hammock, you can use a sleeping bag, but you'll basically need a quilt and something called an underquilt. An underquilt is basically just like your top quilt, but it hangs under your hammock to provide that bottom insulation. This prevents the convection from taking the heat away from you. But if you already have a sleeping pad, you don't have to go out and buy an expensive underquilt. You can simply use your sleeping pad. I have, and it works just fine. Also, if you have more than one sleeping bag or quilt or sleeping pad, but they're rated for warmer weather, and you want to go in really cold weather, you don't have to go out and buy a whole new set of quilts, sleeping bags, or sleeping pads. You actually can do what they call stacking. You can use multiple sleeping bags or multiple pads, and this will greatly increase the R value or the temperature value. A company called Untitled Equipment has an article on how to stack your quilts or your sleeping pads. They also give you a table that provides you with what the new temperature rating would be when you stack them. I included a link to their website in the description. Do you prefer a quilt or a sleeping bag? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification so you don't miss a thing. Thanks for watching, see you next time, and go explore.